All right, welcome back to Die Hard American Metal. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a component that works tirelessly, in the background of every single press stroke. It's the unseen hero of your press. Now, this system, when you get it right, it's protecting your most valuable assets. But, and this is a big but, when you ignore it, it can silently, and I mean silently, destroy them.
So let's just start with this question right here, because honestly, the answer is everything. It's the key to your machine's health, and maybe more importantly, to your shop's bottom line. You know, we're talking about the difference between a smooth, profitable run and a silent, absolutely catastrophic failure.
Okay, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll tame the unseen force. Then, we'll get into why it's so critical. After that, how to dial in that perfect balance, the high cost of getting it wrong, and finally, some maintenance best practices. Let's get into it. All right, first things first, let's pull back the curtain and actually define this thing, this hidden hero. So what exactly is a counterbalance system? And what's the big, fundamental problem it's built to solve, literally every single second your press is running? At its core, it's really simple. It's all about fighting gravity. The best way to think about it is just like the springs on a massive garage door. Without those springs, you're not lifting that door. The counterbalance system does the same thing for your press. It takes this tremendously heavy component, the slide and the die, and makes it feel almost weightless to the press drive. It's the difference between smooth, controlled movement and a chaotic, crashing disaster.
Now look, there are a few ways to get this job done. You've got springs, hydraulics, but one type, the pneumatic system, it just absolutely dominates the industry. And the reason why is super simple. It comes down to one word, adjustability. Being able to precisely dial in the pressure for all your different die weights, that's not just an advantage, it's a total game changer.
So, since pretty much all of us are working with these pneumatic systems, let's do a quick rundown of the key players on the team. You've got the air cylinders, right? That's the muscle. Then you've got the pressure regulator. That's how you tell the muscle how hard to push. The surge tanks are there to handle the big gulps of air. And then you have the really crucial safety guys, the check valve and the pressure switches. They're the ones making sure the whole system stays safe and stable. Okay, so we know what it is, but the big question is, why is it so ridiculously critical? I don't care if you're an operator, a setup tech, or a manager listening to this, you need to care about this system. Because believe me, its job goes way, way beyond just lifting some weight.
Improperly adjusted can cost tens of thousands of dollars and effectively destroy the press drivetrain. That says it all right there. We are not talking about some minor tweak for a little more efficiency. Getting this wrong isn't a small mistake. It is a slow, silent, and catastrophically expensive problem that will eventually take your press completely out of commission. Period.
So how does it protect the press? Well, for starters, it reduces mechanical shock. A properly set counterbalance stops that massive weight of the slide and die from basically free-falling and slamming into the drive components. It gets rid of that destructive hammering effect, the one, that happens when all the clearances in the drivetrain get violently smashed together on every single stroke.
And by absorbing all that shock, you are dramatically, and I mean dramatically, reducing the wear and tear on your most expensive parts. We're talking gears, bearings, crankshafts, the whole shebang, the entire drivetrain. A good counterbalance setting, it's hands down the best life insurance policy you can get for your press.
And this one right here? This is totally non-negotiable. Operator safety. A balanced press stops faster, sure, but way more importantly, it stops more predictably. And that is absolutely vital for your safety systems, your light curtains, your e-stops, to work the way they're supposed to. This isn't just a good idea, it's a core requirement from OSHA. And hey, get this, it even saves you money on electricity. Believe it or not, a balanced system means your main motor isn't just wasting a ton of energy lifting dead weight on every single upstroke. All that efficiency goes straight to your bottom line. It directly lowers your energy bills.
Okay, we know why it's so critical. So now, let's get practical. Let's roll up our sleeves. How do we make sure this system is set perfectly, not just once, but every single time a new die goes into that press? The whole process starts with one absolute unbreakable rule. You must know the correct weight of your upper die. Seriously, no guessing. Once you have that number, it's actually a pretty straightforward but totally vital procedure. You find that weight on the OEM chart, it's usually right there on the press, and you adjust the regulator till the gauge matches. And I'm gonna say it again, you have to do this every single time you change a die. No exceptions.
This is so cool because this is how the press literally talks to you.
The chart, yeah, that gets you in the ballpark, but for the real fine-tuning, you gotta watch the main motor's ammeter. It's simple. If the amps are spiking on the upstroke, you're underbalanced. The motor is working too hard to lift. If they're spiking on the downstroke, you're overbalanced. The motor is fighting the counterbalance. Your goal is to find that perfect sweet spot where the current draw is as even and as low as possible.
Okay, let's really dig in now to what happens when our hero gets it wrong, when it's either too weak or, well, too strong. Because getting the balance wrong isn't just, not optimal. It is actively, aggressively damaging your machine with every single cycle. Look at this. The brutal truth is, there is no safe way to be wrong. You can't win. If you're underbalanced, you get that jackhammer effect that's just destroying your drivetrain. But if you're overbalanced, that's just as bad. You're losing tonnage at the part, you're chewing up your clutch, and you run the very real risk of getting the press stuck on bottom, which is a dangerous, expensive, time-consuming nightmare to fix.
A hero is only as good as the support it gets. So let's wrap this up by talking about the essential maintenance you need to do to keep your counterbalance system reliable, effective, and ready to be that hero for your press day in and day out.
Okay, this chart right here, this is one to screenshot and give to your maintenance team. If you can't hold pressure, you're almost certainly chasing an air leak. Start with the fittings, check the seals. If the slide drifts down when the motor's off, well, you're either critically low on pressure or you've probably got a leaky check valve. And if you start hearing unusual noises, yeah, you could be underbalanced, but you could also have water in the system and you need to get that drained immediately. Just be systematic, start with the basics, and you'll solve most of these problems.
So, at the end of the day, it really all comes down to this single question. Is your counterbalance the hero of your press shop, or is it the villain? Because it's one or the other. It's either quietly saving you a ton of money and protecting your investment, or it's silently costing you an absolute fortune in repairs and downtime. The choice, really, is yours. It all comes down to diligence, proper training, and just paying attention to the details.